Hola amigos! How's everybody doing? I hope you're excited to learn about flamenco today. I'm just going to wait a little bit to see if some more people come on to join us. But I am Gladys Clausen, for those of you that do not know me. This is my father, Roberto.
Buenas tardes.
And we are going to share with you a little bit of flamenco over the next 4 weeks. Today we're going to tell you a little bit of history, and I'm also going to go over the basic arm movements and some steps for you guys to practice over the next week until our week 2, when we will do footwork, and I'll show you more about the shoes that I use that are special for flamenco. Our 3rd week will be rhythms and castanets, which will be a lot of fun. We'll be stomping and making all sorts of noise. And our last week will be the flamenco finale, where we will put it all together. Hopefully you will have found some pieces of clothing so that way you can look like a flamenco dancer as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So before we start, some things that you notice, I'm wearing a fancy dress. This is handmade. Actually, my aunt made it. And it's very long and it has polka dots, which are in Spanish called lunares. And that way when I do this, I can dance, and when I turn, it flows with me. And it's nice and long sleeved. I picked green today since it's March for St. Patrick's Day. I also have a manton, which is an accessory that I use every now and then. And I just want to show you all these little things that I have. This is my manton, my shawl. That's how we say it in English, and I can use it to dance like this or like this. Or I can pretend like I'm a bullfighter and dance like that. I also have, as I mentioned before, castanets. Let's just see here. Looks like there's some trouble here with the video, but I'm going to just keep on going. So these are my castanets, which we'll talk about later, but I'll play them very quickly for you just so you can kind of get an idea. They make sound. They look like this. They're made out of pressed material. And with lots of practice, one day you'll be doing that. Another accessory that I have is called the fan. And it's very pretty. You can twirl it like this, and when you're dancing, you can go like this. And that's more stuff that we'll go over as we go throughout our afternoon. So, as I said, flamenco, it's actually originated from Spain. It is a Spanish dance that dates back to when, Dad?
Okay.
When did flamenco start?
Flamenco started back around the 1st century, but it wasn't called flamenco back then, and Spain wasn't called Spain back then. It was Spain. It was called Baetica by the Romans, and it was a colony of Rome. And then in around the 8th century, the Moors attacked Spain and took over the southern part and changed its name to Al-Andalus. And that's when the things started to develop. There were different kinds of folk music. What flamenco was known as back then was folklorico andaluz. And there were various types of folk songs, worker songs, the songs that the farmer might sing while he's plowing his fields with his oxen, or songs that the miners would sing to release their frustration at the terrible jobs. Or a blacksmith might keep a rhythm and sing a martinete. So that these were all elements that later led into flamenco. Also, there were troubadours, people who would go from one region to another, singing and passing the news. They were like town criers of the time. That had happened in one of the villages, or sometimes they would sing verses that resembled from songs from the Bible, and they changed little bits, but these were part of the entertainment. And then there were groups of dancers who traveled and entertained the Roman soldiers all around the Mediterranean, and a separate group of people who were singers who would go in groups and sing. The dancers were called Quayai Garitani, and the singers were Cantaora Garitani. And they worked separately at the beginning, but then over the years, they joined together, and
Okay, flamenco.
the flamenco was just born, and the thing is that the government and the church didn't like the idea of flamenco or the folk singing, and they tried to stop it. So they drove the entertainers underground, and the different cultures blended: the Moors, the native Iberians, and the Jews, and they shared their cultures and began to blend it. It's sort of the beginning of world music
That's it.
as we know it.
Ole. So today here we have my father, who's going to play the guitar. I am the dancer. We also have in flamenco palmas or jaleos, and they do the clapping. There's also singers, but unfortunately our singer that we have is in Massachusetts, and with COVID we can't all be under the same roof. But without further ado, let's get moving.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is I'm here upstairs in my sunroom. So Roberto's gonna play a little music, and I'll just have you guys follow along with me at home. If you have any questions, you can always ask on a comment, and I'll be happy to reply later. But just follow along and have lots of fun, and make sure to smile. And I wish I could see all of you guys at home, and instead of being at the library where I can see all of your smiling faces. But take a picture of your kiddos if they're having fun. I'd love to see them moving their arms to flamenco.
Okay.
Vamos.
Braceo.
So this is braceo, which is arm work. So we're going to stand with our feet together, and let's just take a deep breath and roll our shoulders back. Stretch out and warm. Let's bring our arms up, nice and round. We start with our right arm. Ready? Here we go. Now your left. Both arms together. One more time. Now we'll reverse and go down the front of our body. Very good. Now your left. Both arms. One more time. Very good. So that's how we're going to warm up every time that we meet over the next 4 classes. And when we do that, when we do our arm work, you want to make sure your shoulders are down away from your ears, because then you go like this and you'll be all sore. So you want your shoulders down, and you want your arms nice and round, like a big barrel. Here you have a big barrel. Here, when you're open, you have your nice line, because you want to just really be presenting yourself as best as you can. So now, what we're going to do, I'm going to teach you something that's very tricky, but looks super beautiful. We're going to do our same arm movements that we did before, but this time we're going to add our wrists. So, ladies, you're going to start with your pinky and then roll your wrist. So this is in. Give it a try. Get all those muscles going. And then this is the opposite direction. And fellas, if you're out there, you're not going to do all fingers. You can either just do your 2 middle fingers, which makes it look a little bit more masculine, or you can just do your whole hand. And actually, ladies, you can do that too. Whatever is your style, whatever you feel comfortable with, you can do it. Okay, let's try that again with our muñecas, with our wrists. Ready? Arms up. And here we go. In, out. In, out. In, out. Now we'll start to lower with our right. Now your left. Both arms together. In, out. In, out. Muy bien. Now we'll go the opposite direction with our right hand going down the front of our body. In, out, in, out, in, out. Now if it hurts, shake it out. Other side. In, out, in, out. Good. Now hands together. Very good. Whew. I worked up a sweat already. So if your arms hurt, you can shake it out. That's fine. So that is a warm-up. Those are great moves to practice all the time because then that will help you get to the next movement. So say, for example, when you're dancing, you always want to show your face. You want to make sure your tailbone is tucked down and your knees are just a little bit bent. So that way, if you wanted to walk forward, you could cross and then roll your hand. So all I did was I crossed with my right foot, my left leg goes out, and then my arm will go out to the side. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do it with me. And for the fellas, you just straight, nice straight sharp arm. Ladies, roll, roll. Good. And you can also, another step that you could do is with the same opposition, you would just put your foot out and then cross upwards toward the sky. So you're going to reach for the stars, back down, reach for the stars, back down. Give it a try with me. Let's do 2 low, and then we'll do 2 reaching. Okay, I hope you guys are all keeping up with me. Ready? And I'll wait for you. You can go first. You go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
The same.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2. Now reach. 3, 4. 1, 2. Reach. 3, 4. Good. Again. Very good. Now let's bring it up. One thing I didn't mention was your head. So far, because I'm looking at you, I've kept my head straight. But also, when we are dancing with our upper body, it's very important to use your head. So, for example, when I cross with this hand, I'm going to want to look over that same shoulder. So here you are, boom, and then the other side. So that, because it looks really nice, and then the audience can always see your face. Same when you go up, you want to look to the side, or even when we're doing our very beginning warm-up. You want to look to the side, but your hand is going down. Do it with me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Both hands will come down. We'll keep on looking. And now when we go down the front, look to the right. Now forward. Other side. Forward. Good. Dun, dun, dun. Another step that's fun to learn, so it's very simple. You could just, marking with your right foot, you would just like, kind of like you had a sleeping leg with your other leg. So you just touch and drag, touch and drag, touch your foot and drag, okay? That's good. So for example, we go like this. Touch, turn, touch. Touch, touch. And then we can do step, back, step, back, step, back, step. Okay, so let's try that again. Ready? So again, you're going to step with your right. Step, walk. Now we're at the arms. Good. Now walk back, walk back, walk back again. Now walk back. Ole. Very good, everybody. So as a dancer, we're always, you always have to do something with your upper body. So if I'm sitting down next to the guitarist and I'm listening, I'll have my hands on my hips. Or if I'm dancing and I'm just using only one hand, I'll have that hand on my hip. Even when I'm doing palmas or clapping, I'm doing something with my hands. So not like here, they're here. And even when I'm dancing, I might have my arms here, and then the other side. You want to try that with me? Keeping your arms nice and up. We'll have them here, and one. Another fun move that is a great marcaje, which means marking, is just to go from side to side. And if I were to do that, you can watch it first and then try it with me. I'll put my hand in my hip, and I'll put my right hand in front of me, and I'll move slowly. And then I can add my wrist if I want to, and then switch sides. We didn't want to use our skirt, we could have one hand up and one hand out in front of us. And it would look like this. And then you switch. Give it a try. Wonderful. Let's see. see some things popping up on the board. Let me just see here. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Before I go, so I said this was my costume. I wanted to show you the first costume I ever had, which is this. This was when I was 5. So this is now 36 years old, which is hard to believe. But this was my very first costume that my daughter Monica got to wear for a little bit. But costumes come in all sorts of designs. So as you go forward and want to pick out your outfit, you can pick a solid color, and it doesn't even have to be a dress. It could just be a skirt with a leotard or a tank top. Right now, this one has just like a fringe. This one also has a fringe. But if you had a neck scarf, that would be a great accessory. And then this one, I probably wear in my finale because it's really bright and has all the flowers, which will be just in time for spring. And I could wear a manton. I hope you can see that I'm wearing earrings. That's an important piece to the attire of flamenco. A lot of the times flamenco dressers also wear a flower. And you could be any color, your favorite color or whatever matches your dress. And I also have what's called a peineta, which is a comb. And it's just one of those accessories that kind of give it that flamenco Spanish flair. So I think that's it. Anything else?
Very good.
Well, we hope you had fun. I had fun. So this is your homework for the week. Work on your arms, nice and slow, big arms. And then next week we'll talk about footwork and rhythm, and I'll talk about my shoes, and I'll show them. Right now they're on my feet, but next class I'll make sure that I have them, and we'll actually be in my studio basement, so that way you can hear the footwork, and that will be a lot of fun. So make sure to bring a water bottle because you'll get hot, and I hope you had fun. I had fun with you. Take care, everybody.
Hasta luego.
And gracias, Gilford Public Library.